only the guest, but my friend, my senior, and uh, same friend is a little bit less, like my family member, Professor Dr. Shikha Srivastava. She is in Galgotias University. Before making you aware about such an eminent personality, Dr. Srivastava, I would like to give you a visit of my university where I am, and means after learning a lot from you. Just a minute, ma'am. I'm just sharing the screen. Shron, either you share the video or permit me to share the video so I can give ma'am a visit or a virtual tour of our university.
Yes, ma'am. I've enabled the permission, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Trust has established a state private university known as Pimpri Chinchwad University and Sate Varga Mavar
Ma'am, it's my university where I'm working.
Development Authority. It is a 30-acre campus of academic facilities and amenities for students and teachers to help them to achieve their fullest potential. The Pimpri Chinchwad University campus is well connected with the cities Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad by road to Mumbai-Pune National Highway number 4 as well as Mumbai-Pune Expressway. Also, the railway ECU has its different
Ma'am, we are having 6 to 7 schools with us.
School of Engineering and Technology.
Here we are serving in CSC, AIML, and design. We are having computer applications, BCA, BSc. We have MBA, where we are giving specializations in various programs, various sectors. 3 MBA programs, and 2 we are going to launch in the form of pharma and others. Okay. That is design. We have pharma as well, ma'am. Last but not the least, it's the School of Humanities and Liberal Arts.
School of Media Arts and Communication Studies by incorporating cultural activities, events, and organized tours and trips, fostering a holistic development approach. In a sense, Pimpri Chinchwad University is not just an institution, it's a vibrant ecosystem that nurtures talent, fosters creativity, and provides a platform for students to
These
thrive
are engineering
in
students now.
every aspect of their academic journey. PCU Bus Transport provides service across the city. Pimpri Chinchwad University, transformative education that empowers success in a rapidly evolving world.
So that was, ma'am, our university. We people means Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust is nurturing in the field of education since 1990. And we have more than 11 institutes. Means we can say we are from first to arts. Means from schools to the PhD program. And it's been a dream of our trust members to start university, which came through in 2023. And since 2023, I am here. So that was a little bit. Now, I would like again to grab this opportunity to introduce you. It's like, मतलब थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है आपको इंट्रोड्यूस करना शब्दों में बांधना, but I will try. Dr. Srivastava has been a wonderful scholar in her education academics time. She completed her research from BHU. She completed her postdoctoral fellowship from CSIR. And if I talk about her research area has been clinical neuropsychology, clinical psychology, abnormal psychology, research methods, biofeedback related autonomic nervous system activity. She has a very vast experience of teaching, that is more than of 25 years. And if I talk about her research credential, she has more than 40 national, international Scopus SCI Web of Science paper in her basket. and she has organized n number of FDPs. She has enlightened n number of students, scholars, and the juniors in the field of psychology as well. And she is a lifetime member of Indian Academy of Health Psychology. She is a member of Counselors Council of India, and she is the member of editorial board of n journals. Shikha ma'am, I cannot, again, as I told you, cannot introduce
Ma'am, please stop it.
because it's like Suraj ko diya dikhana. I tried, and we have, ma'am, our faculty members are some students who are interested to listen you. They are waiting since long. So now it's over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Archana Rathore, my best friend. Very, I would say, the person who holds knowledge on her subject, so I admire. So that is where we were connected. I am humbled that you have called me, assuming that I can contribute. One thing that I was confused is that I might be addressing our first year student, but it is, I think we are having faculty colleague along with some students, if I'm
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
right.
ma'am. Yes.
But the task is tough for me now because if
No,
you are,
nothing is tough for you, ma'am. I know.
thank you so much. So I'm supposed to talk about why liberal education,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So if you allow me, I would like to share one or two screen. Rest we will talk.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. So why liberal education is something. Why liberal education? The answer to your to this question is very difficult because liberal education is free of boundary, where you have the whole society to make experimentation, and this is what makes this liberal education class apart from all other things. This is what I think all of us would be agreeing upon. Chemistry, there is a laboratory where you work. Physics, there is a laboratory where you work. Liberal education, the laboratory is society, the unlimited sky. The mode of experimentation is all prerogative of the researcher. There is no fixed way. So, why liberal education? Liberal education to solve the societal problem which no scientist, no engineer, no doctor, no CA or CS can solve. Where we stand, class apart from all other counterpart, our engineering counterpart, our science counterpart, our medical professionals, everyone, because they need us to understand certain societal issues, to understand certain questions which their subject doesn't answer. So, we liberal educationists are meant for all those things which are not getting solved by anyone else. So, I do not have a very well defined PPT prepared for you. It is just a glimpse where I will be talking about. There are certain questions which start arising in the mind of the young. I am talking about in the perspective of the students, the young aspirant who want to join certain stream. And I think there we are discussing all these things where we stood. So the first question that arises in the mind of the undergraduate student is, what would be the evidence of effectiveness in achieving outcome? हम कोई एक प्रोग्राम करेंगे तो उसका क्या आउटकम होगा? And those significance of the outcome is how much, to what extent is valid to those undergraduate students. And that is the true value of liberal education. If we can make them understand where they will be standing after choosing liberal education, our half, or I would say 99% job is done, because we give them a wide spectrum to work. Everyone has limited scope, wherein the liberal educationists give a wide arena to work to the student. So all these three queries which arises in the mind of the young scholars gets answered satisfactorily by the specialist. make them feel comfortable to join a liberal education program. We'll talk about career avenues also in the last section, letter section of our uh, conversation, I would say, not the speech, because all my dear colleagues are more than welcome to raise questions and to make discussions and mold the conversation the way they want. So it is open platform. We are all liberal educationalists, so we don't define boundaries. It would be a open arena for all to contribute and discuss. Yes, as a I would not say myself this expert, but as an expert, which PCU I think is called, right, ma'am? PCET.
Yes, ma'am. PCU. It is of PCET's PCU.
PCU has called me. So, for sure, I'll be coordinating factors. So, please do not hesitate, my dear colleague, to contribute in. So, what we emphasize, the liberal education emphasizes, as I say, we have open sky, open earth to work. These are our experimental field. What we emphasize, practical skills, regardless of field of study or intended career. See, I'm a psychologist. Dr. Archana Rathore is from English. And we shared a wonderful bonding because English and psychology meet somewhere. So, regardless of the special field that we have chosen, there is no boundary to limit ourselves. There is no, restriction to get practical exposure, right? So, what are we want to say about these? What it includes in self is moral reasoning and problem solving. Every single student of liberal education is allowed to think morally, to think about the ethical concern and solve the problem of the society, which is not limited to a particular domain or a subject in liberal studies. It is all interconnected. It's like a good weaving of a bird. Every component is there, and the beautiful weaving make the, gives the nest a beautiful shape wherein small, creatures lives comfortably. So we are like that. We have no limit to restrict on one subject. It is totally up to us where we want to explore, where we want to make experimentation, where we want to experience more about society and come up with fruitful, innovative, creative solutions. Right? Second thing is inclination to inquire the lifelong learning. See, mathematicians knows a lot of equations. Chemistry people know the combination of chemical will do what. But a person with liberal education keeps on learning entire life. And this is where we stand apart from others. Right? We are open to learn throughout the life. It is not limited to a course. It is not limited to a subject. It is not limited to a particular domain. It is unlimited opportunity given in liberal education to students to explore, to learn and grow. And then in terms of, Karen, you want to say something? There is some issue. If we can handle this, the conversation
Uh,
will be more.
Participant, kindly mute yourself.
You can write in the chat box also if you
Kindly
have
mute
any.
yourself. Shravan, kindly mute yourself.
It happens. It's okay. It's all sorted out now. Thank you, Sharan, for understanding. So, what is May am I audible, ma'am?
Shravan, kindly mute yourself.
तो भाई एक मीटिंग में
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm so sorry. There are certain pressure from the
Not an issue, ma'am. Not
and
an issue.
professional has to face. Okay, let's continue. So, apart from this beautiful concept of lifelong learners, which the liberal education student and faculty both have the opportunity to grow with, we have intercultural effectiveness. If I ask my dear students what role a culture play, can you please answer what is the relevance of a cultural emphasis on the shaping of our personality? If you wish to. Okay. So intercultural effectiveness is something which every individual of the society should aware of, because every culture has a different modus operandi. Something which is desired and accepted in a culture may not be desired activity and get acceptance in another culture. So the person who learns the cultural perspective makes his or her, you know, utilization of skills more effective. Right? If we know what the culture will appreciate, I will behave in that manner. If I know that this particular piece of behavior may not be accepted if I am going beyond my country, I will stop doing it. So that awareness helps me exercise my practice in a better fashion. I'm a psychologist. Hugging is a very, acceptable culture in a European country or American country, but not in India. So if I know this, if I have that cultural sensitivity, my skill would be appreciated more in a given culture, and I would be appreciated more. So that intercultural effectiveness, that identification of cultural norm, the cultural practices makes a person, you know, uh, more successful in a respective career. So this is what liberal education students are equipped with, because we do give them certain, courses, certain situations where they are able to understand the role of culture, the intercultural effectiveness, the cultural norm and acceptance and all. And one more thing which we actually give our student, and that is leadership identification as well as training. If I feel that a person has a good leadership quality, the best program to make him identify his potential, practice his potential for the welfare of the society is, I feel, liberal education. So why liberal education? For better moral understanding, for learning throughout the life, for understanding cultural issues and sensitivity, and to nurture their leadership skill. Because how it is possible? Because liberal education is not into a fixed boundary. In the nutshell, the beauty of liberal education, you have wide arena to explore. And this makes the subject beautiful. This gives greater career avenues. This make a person complete. हम बार बार holistic development की बात करते हैं. What is holistic development? Holistic development is only you rectify the formulas and you are done with it. You get 100% marks and you are done. You have a job in hand and you do not know how to respect your parents. You do not know how to give proper, respond to your peer group. You do not know how to help your juniors. You are not a complete person. So this is the strength which liberal education gives you. Then effective communication. What if a person knows a lot of things? He is a, encyclopedia. But while transferring this knowledge to someone, while, interacting with someone, the communication is not that effective. And it is not actually matching with the level of amount of knowledge that he holds and the way that he is communicating, he or she is communicating. So there is a huge gap. And this gap is bridged in a best fashion in liberal education. Whatever you know, we boost the confidence of our students to exercise, to share that knowledge with someone in an effective manner. If I don't say anything, if Dr. Archana has called me here and I am here and just hi, hello, and bye, there is nothing where I can communicate with my students or my dear faculty colleague. There is the purpose will be defeated. So this is what who knows it best? The person who sits in the I'm so sorry. Liberal education. So then again, one very good thing is critical thinking. What is it? Critical thinking की हम हमेशा बात करते हैं. Critical thinking का मतलब कोई अगर मुझे समझाए बच्चा, I would like to know from you if you wish to. Again, I am saying if you wish to because most of the time people don't wish to.
Exactly. Students are never interested to answer any question.
मैम हम भी ऐसा ही थे. क्यों बोलना, अभी जब वक्त आएगा तो बोल लेंगे.
Exactly.
So critical thinking is something which is not your concerned with your day-to-day life, which is not going with the flow. It is something you have a deeper knowledge and you are coming up with some insightful solution, right? Some innovative way of doing something, right? You think and you act. Every time when you think, it is not just to think, it is reflecting in your behavior, in your action. So where we induce this sort of critical thinking, we promote the students to come up with ideal solution of something, which is because of the unique way of thinking, because of promoting them to think differently, because of promoting them to think about their, micro to macro level, about their family, about their community, about their society and state, and of course the entire universe. So when they come up with some different ideas to solve a problem or to understand a solution, this becomes critical thinking, which make a student, which make a person class apart beyond every technical knowledge which a person can hold by getting a technical degree. I'm not saying that it is bad. It shapes you, it gives you a technical background to act, but it doesn't give you a capacity to solve a general problem with a unique way of thinking, and which is actually required in any society to make it sustainable, right? A witty idea, a small idea makes difference, and every single difference makes miracle at the end of the day. Ethic and civic responsibility. I have a companion. He is a furry baby who is disturbing. So please forgive me for that disturbance. Ethic and civic responsibility. As I said, whatever we do, whatever training we give our student to do is act mindfully, right? When I say mindfully, what I mean to say, the idea to understand the distinction between the rightful act and the wrongful act. Why? To make a person aware about the ethical, moral, and responsibility as a good citizen of society, right? Without it, again, the society may not survive. Every single technical knowledge without the practice of ethic and civic responsibility cannot sustain over a period of time. Everything cannot be done for the monetary benefit. Everything cannot be done at the name of professional gain. There is something which requires a person to take responsibility, which is embedded with value system, right? Which is embedded with ethical and civic sense of responsibility within an individual. And we are the one who actually doing it. So every single student who joins liberal education is trained in a fashion wherein he or she understands the perspective, which is not only the beneficial aspect of a thing, but the moral, ethical, and with a sense of a responsible citizen of a nation. And then quantitative literacy. Whatever we are doing, qualitative की मैं बात इसलिए यहाँ पे नहीं कर रही हूँ कि वो तो that is embedded liberal education के साथ है ही है. Apart from it, we are not doing things in a vague manner. There are quantitative literacy also, wherein we equip the student to understand exact quality of doing anything. They can tell you, they are equipped with the statistic, they are aware of the statistical tool also, where they can convert all the qualitative things into quantitative, and they can come up with a precise result of whatever they have done related to a particular societal problem. So this is again a beauty of liberal education, wherein the student has the knowledge of quantitative to qualitative, where they have understanding of technical to emotional, where they are aware about ethical to their responsibility as citizen, along with the monetary aspect, which is nowhere gone. It is always there. But the quality which make a person successful is the way a person is trained through liberal education studies. So, how do we know that? There is an empirical evidence for the benefit of liberal art education. And that is how we do. Understanding the thing in a holistic manner, I said again, earlier also, I'm saying it again, right? We are having a mindset wherein we have a problem, we investigate the problem, we find out who are concerned for it, right? Society cares us or not, and then whenever someone asks, what is your opinion about it? The answer from the person is, I'll tell you with full evidence. Right? I am doing something. See, the cartoon is in front of you. Who cares, dude? कौन किसकी चिंता करता है? वो कहते हैं आप evidence दिखाओ. And the person who studies in liberal education has full capacity to prove whatever they do, right, has what is the implication for society in qualitative as well as quantitative. So there is again, we are apart from all other domain of study, wherein one or other, we have all the. So we have emphasis on all the domain. We do not allow one perspective. We do not instruct our student to understand on one to understand and examine one aspect of any situation, any person, or any kind of event that is happening around it. Rather, we promote them to understand it in a holistic term, right? एक स्टडी आई थी आपको लिबरल एजुकेशन के इम्पोर्टेंस के संदर्भ में मैंने इसमें ली. आई एम ग्रेटफुल टू द ऑनलाइन सोर्सेज फ्रॉम वेयर आई गॉट दिस स्टडी. एम्प्लॉय जो है वो कैसा होना चाहिए, क्या चाहता है एम्प्लॉयर. तो उसमें एक स्टडी आई थी, एसोसिएशन ऑफ अमेरिकन कॉलेज एंड यूनिवर्सिटी. दे केम अप विद सर्टेन कंक्लूजन, जो again it is good for all of us, those who are related with liberal studies, कि the employer 89% time wanted more emphasis on the ability to effectively communicate orally and in writing. आपने देखा होगा बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियों के रिपोर्ट राइटिंग होती है, What if the communication through the write-up is not effective? The company is getting good benefit, बहुत अच्छा, हजारों लाखों करोड़ का टर्नओवर है उनका, बट जो उनकी रिपोर्ट राइटिंग जा रही है, जो उनके मीडिया कम्युनिकेशन जा रहे हैं, जहां पे वो ओरली अपने स्टेक होल्डर्स के साथ डील कर रहे हैं, वो इफेक्टिव नहीं है. अगर वो इफेक्टिव नहीं है तो कंपनी कभी भी स्टेट में, पता है, अच्छा दमदार रोल नहीं पा पाएगी. इट इज इम्पॉसिबल फॉर द कंपनी इन स्पाइट ऑफ मेकिंग प्रॉफिट. पीपल विल नॉट नो इट विथ गुड नेम, राइट. तो 89% क्या चाहते हैं? वो चाहते हैं ऐसे लोग जिनके अंदर है एबिलिटी टू इफेक्टिवली कम्युनिकेट ओरली एंड इन राइटिंग, राइट. All the leaders, you may have seen, all the leaders on big corporate houses, all the leaders and the founders of companies are very good orators. Very good. They know how to communicate. They know how to, promote their brand. कैसे करते हैं वो? By linking it with the societal welfare. कभी आपने युद्ध तोप बनाने का विज्ञापन आता नहीं सुना होगा, जो कि करोड़ों की सेल होती है. क्या चीज का विज्ञापन सुना है हमने? उन चीजों का जिनकी हमको डेली नीड में जरूरत है. और कैसे करते हैं वो? बड़ा इफेक्टिवली कम्युनिकेट करते हैं, उन चीजों को हाईलाइट करते हुए जो उसमें पॉजिटिव आती है, राइट. सो कौन कर सकता है ये काम सबसे अच्छा? प्रोडक्शन कोई भी करे, मीडिया हाउस के साथ कम्युनिकेट करने के लिए सबसे अच्छा कौन लगेगा? जिसने अपनी पढ़ाई लिबरल एजुकेशन में ली है. यस और नो, आप बताइए. The people who can write and speak well, those who can highlight about the qualities of the product in the company in which they are working, वही लगेंगे ना जो ये बताते रहेंगे कि ये प्रोडक्ट अच्छा नहीं है, इसमें जो केमिकल कंपोजिशन साबुन बनाने में यूज किया गया है वो ठीक नहीं है. कैसे होगा फिर? वो तो मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि उसको ठीक करें हम, so that it is good for our skin. But while communicating to the community, it is always desirable that you focus on the positive aspect. वो कब होगा? जब हमारा खुद का माइंडसेट पॉजिटिव होगा. कैसे होगा? जब हमारी ट्रेनिंग होगी कि हम अपने आप को पॉजिटिविटी और नेगेटिविटी के बीच में बैलेंस करना सीखें. And who give this training in the best possible manner? We the teachers of liberal education. And who do this job wonderfully? The students to whom we train. So there is the value of us as an educator and the student as assets. 81% wanted critical thinking and analytical reasoning skills. 89% क्या चाहते हैं? The ability to effectively communicate orally and writing. 81 एम्प्लॉयर्स अपने एम्प्लॉय को चाहते हैं क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग एंड एनालिटिकल रीजनिंग स्किल्स होनी चाहिए उनमें. आर्ग्यूमेंटेशन स्ट्रॉन्ग्स द रीजनिंग स्किल्स. लॉजिक स्ट्रेंथेंस इट. And the person who is trained and exposed to variety of things has that understanding of reasoning as well as critical thinking, right? 70% wanted the ability to innovative and be creative. So creation is adding certain thing which is new on the contemporary thing. It may be an idea, it may be a product, it may be related to service. ठीक है, 3 जगह पे हम करते हैं काम. आइडियलेशन स्टेज में करते हैं, प्रोडक्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए कर सकते हैं, राइट. कंसेप्चुअलाइजेशन स्टेट में हो सकता है, एग्जीक्यूशन स्टेट में हो सकता है. बट व्हेन इट इज क्रिएटिव, when we talk about thinking pattern, the ability to think differently and make innovation and creation in certain things is more in the hand of the student of liberal education. So there also we are standing class apart. Employees say all the time that they value clarity of writing and verbal expression, and they often find liberal arts graduates expert in both. So I am not saying that. Sir ka naam hai, sir ka naam. So I am not saying it. This is all said by established people, right? Employers, what they want? They want people who value clarity of writing and verbal expressions, and they often find liberal art graduate expert in both. Both matlab हो गया, writing में भी they are excelling and verbal expression also they are doing excellent work. So yeah, again, this is proving the hypothesis that requirement of liberal education, choosing liberal education is something going to give a lot of benefit because it is something in high demand. So there are certain more slides which I would like to share with you. Liberal art education, what it does, prepares students to talk on responsibilities of leadership. आपने बहुत कम जगह पे टेक्नोक्रेट्स को कंट्री चलाते देखा होगा. चाइना चला रहा है, टेक्नोक्रेट्स दे आर रनिंग द कंट्री, बट किस दिशा में जा रहा है आप देख रहे हैं. देयर इज नो वैल्यू सिस्टम, ओनली थिंग दैट प्रिवेल इज मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट. लोगों का भला हो रहा है. कोविड मेक इट वेरी क्लियर. कोविड वाज द टाइम व्हेन इट वाज मेड वेरी क्लियर that when you give the job to technocrats, there would be no, ethical practices and value system that will prevail within a country. पूरे वर्ल्ड को स्टेक पे लाके अपने फायदे के लिए क्या हुआ आपने देखा. So I'm not making any political statement over here, but I am just saying when the leadership in the hand of the people who are morally strengthened person, who know how to practice the ethical things, who know the cultural sensitivity, you yourself as an individual, the country as a at macro level will sustain and give a sort of, role model to the entire universe. So when you want a leader with responsibility, when you want a responsible leader, to lead your country, to lead your community, to lead your state, to lead your district, liberal art prepare it in a best ever fashion. Right? Liberal art prepare a student to take on responsibilities of leadership. So leadership along with ethical considerations and a value system wherein the leader will act with the mindful decisions of rightfulness and wrongfulness. So this is what desired for any society to strive. We provide a lot of leadership program to students. Nowadays, the mindfulness training, the peace education, our university is doing a lot. So I just thought of talking here also. Mindfulness training, leadership program, peace education are all now part of yoga sessions, are part of liberal education programs. And the focus is, why we do it all, to focus is to make mindful leaders. I am again saying not an aggressive person only, but mindful leaders who knows the rightful and wrongful deed. So what we are doing is we are incorporating those things into the curricula so that a holistic development of the person, of the individual, of the student can be ensured. So this is a leadership program for a student. This is for some, other organization I just borrowed to make you understand the idea how it works. Leadership program for a student when combined with curricula that focus upon leadership and coupled with extracurricular program that engage students with their communities and can produce liberally educated social entrepreneurs who are committed to address societal problems through innovative solutions. I am again saying innovative solution. रटा रटाया जो चला आ रहा है वो नहीं. Something which is relevant earlier but not now. होता है ऐसा ना, किसी एक पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे आपको कुछ चीजें लगती हैं सही, दूसरे पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे दोज आर नॉट वेरी रिलेवेंट. So those who can understand this and can come up with a creative idea, can come up with an innovative solution to address this, are welcomed in the society. And this is what we are doing in liberal arts or liberal arts studies. The same thing we are doing. What we are doing? We are developing skills that incorporate. This is again I am saying for the this I borrowed for some other education institution, which talks about Americans who are now clamor foreign or college graduate, and these skills are tools for intellectual and managerial classes. Why we do? Because these two use it as tool for intellectual and managerial level training classes, right? That's not what makes liberal education important. Let's see what is not required. The true value. It's more than merely vocational training. जब हमने leadership दिया, हमने उनको केवल vocational training नहीं दी, हमने उनको rightful and wrongfulness की training दी, right? So, giving just a training for certification is another thing. Giving them an understanding of the societal perspective is another thing, which only and only liberal education can do. ठीक है? It is more than getting books from library, making copies of article and proofreading documents. What? The liberal education training. It is more than any vocational training, right? Wherein you are not only doing copying and pasting and making, multiple copy of the same thing. What is entertained? You come up with an innovative idea. You come up with a solution that is not proposed yet. Okay. Yes.
Yudhishthir sir.
Acha, okay, I'm so sorry. Sir, I'm so sorry. I take my word back. I thought of it as a student. So okay, chalo, let's move ahead because I'm interacting with teacher. Again, ma'am ne theek dhyan dila diya mere ko. So it is more, आपको लगता है बच्चे हैं कौन है, आपको ठीक से समझ नहीं आता, तो हाँ कभी कभी मिस्टेक करते हो, बट एज अ पर्सन आई रियली अपोलोजाइज. Okay, so back to the topic. The liberal arts are not valuable because they are useful politically or vocationally. जैसे अभी हमने लास्ट स्लाइड में डिस्कस किया, हम केवल वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग देने के लिए वैल्यूएबल नहीं है. वी आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू ट्रेन द स्टूडेंट इन अ पर्टिकुलर फैशन. वी आर हियर टू गिव देम अ स्ट्रॉन्ग बैकग्राउंड which comprises the problems which a person face at micro level, connecting to the macro surrounding of the any society. So we are not giving them any political training or a vocational training wherein they are given a skill training and they are doing it and they are stick to that particular thing also only. We are exposing them towards various things, and it is their prerogative to opt out one thing which they feel is best for them, right? We are valuable because they are valuable because they are what constitute real knowledge. Real knowledge, when I say, when a person understands the dynamics within any topic, when the person understands the pros or cons related to any event, all the antecedents and consequences that might be attached with your one action, then we may say that this particular person is a knowledgeable one, right? We, on this say, I would say, we are making good citizens and we are not making a particular worker with a particular skill set in hand, right? I'll be concluding in a slide one or two, and then we all the teachers will enjoy the discussions together. So the ideal liberally educated student of 21st century is a lifelong learner. Why? Because we are not stucking them to anyone. That is the beauty. That is why they choose liberal education. And that is where our role is to make them explore more and more and more, motivate them to ask questions and to find out innovative solution by their own. They are open minded, रिसेप्टिव हैं, वो जो चीजें सामने आए वो हमने उनकी ऐसी वायरिंग करनी है कि वॉट एवर कम्स टू देयर वे they are not going to escape from it, but they explore, they understand, and they come up with certain solution which might go best with that particular situation. So how it will be happening? When they are exposed to this solution, they might get irritated. So the tolerance level is increased when we are training them. They are intellectually curious because we are keep on exposing them to certain situations. So that is again, taking place in the integrated personality of an individual. They are courageous and self-actualizing. Self-actualization is a topic which I don't want to talk much because it is an ideal situation and most of the person feel it never achieves. So it is different thing in a different direction. But here self-actualization is actualizing and believing in their own capacity and having a sort of resilience to face the negativity and come up with certain positive ideas to solve societal problem. This is how we will interpret it here. For other places, self-actualization is independently sufficient to debate for 2 hours. So that is not for that purpose. And the student value education for its own sake. That is the wonderful sentence. They value education for their own sake because they feel confident about the capability to work in a society with a intended positive mindset beyond surpassing all the conflicting and negative ideas of any person, situation, condition, right? This I would skip because, as I said, I'll be compiling in a 1 or 2 slides. So, liberal education, why should we choose? Because this is people for good life and not just the good life. People for a good life and not just the good life. Good life apne aap nahi aati. People for good life. We make the life beautiful. So with this, I will conclude, and I would wish to get this communication interactive by knowing your views. Since all of us here are, most of us are, in the same category, more or less same category. So this is my say on liberal education, why students should choose, why we should promote, what we are supposed to do, and what they at the end of the day would be. So this is my say. Over to Archana ma'am, Dr. Archana Rathore ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an insightful session. Because of this reason, I always look forward to you. You make everything clear to understand. It's like crystal clear. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sparing time for us, for my students. The students who joined your session was from postgraduate background.
Okay.
Yeah, they all are from the MBA background. Faculty members are from the domain, a different domain. They participated, they listened, and hopefully they all got very wonderful, I should say, insights towards the liberal education. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll meet you soon.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All my best wishes to all your PG students.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do wonders in your life and rock.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.